All right. So the first thing that we need to do to start playing around with source control, um, I'm going to add this step because you're going to ultimately use it in the future. So I'm having you set this up because this helps things move a little bit faster. All right. So you guys, I'm going to have the link in the source control folder, but you guys will go to github.com and you're going to sign up. You're going to create a username. You're going to use your school email. You're going to put a password and sign up. Okay. You're going to finish all the steps. It's going to send you an email. You're going to check your email, verify your account. You can't really do anything until your account's verified. If you don't remember your email password or you leave areas blank and somehow you're able to finish it, you're going to have to create another account because you screwed it up. Okay? All right. So after you have created an account and you verified it, this is what your account will look like. Mine has a whole lot more repositories in there than what your guys' does, but you'll see you could set your status. You can put an avatar in. Here you have over the top, you have an overview which gives you just a few of your repositories, shows you what you have been doing with your repositories, how much contributions you have made. You could click on your repositories and you can go in there and you could look at repositories that you're creating. Okay, so this is very useful. We could create repositories from here. We have a lot of features. If we wanted to go into our settings and we wanted to check our email accounts to make sure that they are verified, here I can see that it's verified. If it's not, it's going to have a little thing here that says that it's not verified, and you can resend the email if you can't find that email to verify your account. Okay, so you have to have that done to be able to move forward on GitHub. Okay, the other piece is Get Crackin'. So I'm going to have I have some videos in the web design class on where to download that in the administrative section. You guys have the videos on how to download software on your personal computer. I give the location for downloading Get Crackin' and walk through the steps. It's real easy. You guys will need to download that if you wanted to work with Atom at home. There's also the videos for that provided directly into the classroom. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to create a project, let's say starting at Get Crackin' before we even create anything. So I'm going to create it a couple different ways so that if you are ever in the situation where you are trying to bring something under source control, you will know how to do it. Okay, so the first thing that we have when we open up Get Crackin' is going to want to link to our GitHub page. Go ahead, you can log in through GitHub and you authorize it, and it will make things a lot easier. You finish doing the setup, which is putting your name, your email, you choose your avatar. After you do that, you have a page, so let me close this. This is what it will look like when you are fully logged in, okay? Now we can open a project, we could start a project, we can start a hosted project, okay? And that folder is always right here. So I usually always direct people just to click on the folder in the top left, okay? The first thing that we would want to do is we want to click Init, and that is to create a repository or source control only for our local computer, okay? Now, we have to choose where we're going to initialize it in. So I could say, so this is assuming that I don't have anything in source control. So I don't even have a project yet, okay? So I'm going to go in my web design folder, and I'm going to select this folder, okay? And you guys would want to do this on your Z drive or wherever you're wanting to create your stuff for a project. If this is the first time, you're going to double check that you have it in that folder. Okay, so inside my web design folder, I want to do a new project. Okay, so I'm going to call this one Source Control web design 1. Okay. Here is my full path. It's going to be this, adding a folder that's called source control web design 1. Okay. Once I do that, I can go ahead and click create repository. So now I have a folder that is going to track changes and stuff that I make. Any files that I put in there, images, folders, anything, I can track those changes, and I can keep everything where I can track it through time. So let's go to Atom, and we could create a folder, or a file. So let's say I am creating this one. Let's save it. I'm going to save it into that folder that I just created. Web design. Okay, so inside the source control web design 1, I know that I have set it up correctly because it would show me a .git. If you're not looking at hidden folders, you wouldn't see this, but you should see the readme.md. So in here, I'm going to create, say, my index page, index.html. I go ahead and click save. This is now my file. Okay, so I could start building this out. Doc type, HTML. Did it twice. Okay, now I want to start doing my HTML. And why are you doing that? It's trying to autocorrect for me. HTML. So knowing that I have to, every tag that I open, I'm going to have to close. Inside my HTML, I know I'm going to have a head. And I know I'm going to have a body. Okay. Inside my head, I may have a title. Okay, but as I'm doing all of this stuff, just so you guys can see what it's doing, I'm going to go ahead and save. And so let me drag this down before I save. If it hasn't showed up, it will definitely show up by the time that I save this. I have now saved. If I go here, I should see there's going to start showing things that are showing up changes to my folder. Any changes that I've made to my source control web design 1 folder will start showing up in this line. WIP stands for work in progress. So if this folder, that little icon is showing the plus because it's showing that I have created something that is not under source control. Okay, so this index.html, if I click on it, I can see all of the stuff that I've created. All the green shows stuff that I've added. The red shows stuff that I have gotten rid of. Well, I had blank and I filled it with code. So this is new stuff, but it's not even tracking that file right now. So I want to stage that file. And all that does is when I stage something, I'm saying that I want to track that change at that point. Okay? My commit message is going to be some meaningful message to me to let me know what I have done at that point so that I can reference back and find what I did in my code if I need to go back, or to be able to track the changes of things that I have done. Okay, so in my commit message, I'm going to say added HTML backbone code. Okay, and then I'm going to click commit changes to one file. Okay, so now what I see is I had this initial commit which just had that readme file on it. That's the only thing that was there. It's telling me that it was added, told me that I added it and at what time. Okay, if I click the added HTML backbone code, it told me that I added this at 8:48 p.m. I added one file called index.html. Okay, so I am now tracking these two changes. If I go in here and I add, say, a title, to my code, and then I save. So I'm going to go ahead and save. Now it is showing here in source control, it's showing that I have modified one file because it's showing as orange. Okay, so this is showing that I have made some changes to a file that already is in source control. And this is what I see on this line right here. I added the title elements, the beginning tag and end tag. Okay, so I can choose to stage that file. I could specifically stage this line or this hunk of changes. Okay, and I can add, a meaningful commit message, letting me know what changes that I have staged to bring under source control. So added title tag. I commit that change. Okay, now I have 3 commits. I have 3 points in time of stuff that I have done different in my code. So let's go ahead and actually change some stuff. My website, inside my body, I want a main. Inside my main, I want, let's say, an H1 tag. H1, making sure that I'm closing all my tags that I need to, and then I want to add a paragraph to it. So paragraph tag. Okay, so I could say this is the first heading, and here is some text for a paragraph. So I started making a bunch of changes. I can go ahead and click save. I can do my modification. I could see what it was, but I know I made some changes. I know what I did. Added paragraph and H1 tags for main element. And I can go ahead and continue working, just going back and forth, tracking all my changes as I'm doing this stuff, just committing these pieces. Let's say I create an article. And inside my article, I'm going to want to have a H2 tag. And I want to have another paragraph. Okay, so inside here is some additional text for this article. And here is my second heading. Make some more changes. I see that it's modified. I can go ahead and stage that change. Added an article with para and heading. I commit it. If I go into GitHub and now I want to start adding new files, so I have this new file right here that is going to be my about page. So let's say I add this text, something to this effect, to this. This is my about page. All about Redbeard. Okay. What I do with my free time. Okay, so I'm building an about page. I can give it a title. Now, notice I don't see any of my formatting. That's because I have to actually save it as an HTML document. So inside my source control folder, I can save this as about.html. I click save. Now I'm going to be able to see that formatting, but now I see here that there's a new document new document that is not under source control. So I want to go ahead and stage that file. Added about page to source control. Okay. All right. So we have tracked a number of changes that we have done in source control. If I had a situation where I realized that I did something that I didn't want to do, I wanted to actually make a change. I wanted it to look different. I created something that I didn't want to. I have additional code on there. Any of that stuff, if I want to reset that or go back to what I previously had, that's what I'm going to show in the next video, reverting changes. So you have seen how to create a repo and then build a project after you already have source control set up.